You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Challenge us at Wexford Insurances 0818 31 30 30.
Welcome back to the show. I'm now joined in studio by PJ Byrne, who has recently set up a weekly breakfast morning event in Pearsestown. PJ, start by telling me a bit about your own background, please.
Well, I was in the construction industry for around 10 years, and I came out in 2007 due to the current economic downturn. And I had to change career then after that. So I kind of was weighing up my options on what I could do or what I couldn't do. And ended up, I always had a liking for community development and working with going around when I was young, cutting grass and getting a few extra bob and looking after the elderly and all that kind of stuff. So I decided to contact the VEC and see was there anything available, any course or anything available, which they put me onto an Engage program, which was set up for men. Because there was a massive imbalance of men working in the community. The VEC put on a FETAC level 5 in community development to get more men engaged within the community. As part of the course, I had to do a work placement, which I am doing up in Timon Family Resource Centre, and during that process, we set up the men's breakfast morning, myself and another guy up there. And then from there, I've went into WIT, and I'm now currently studying my degree in community education and development.
Big change from the construction sector itself. I'd like to focus now on the Pearsestown men's breakfast morning, because that was launched only the week gone by. How did that come about? Well,
as I said a minute ago, I set up a breakfast morning in Timon Family Resource Centre with another few lads, and I went away and I done me community work in another community, and then I felt that my own community needed this as well. So I went back in with the concept of getting this up and running, and self-sufficient as well, with no funding. So that's where I came back in to try and get men in my own area, because I was forgetting about my own area. So that's where I needed to get back in and get my own community up and running.
So tell me what the process was to get the Pearsestown men's breakfast morning up and running.
Well, I went simple, just went to the local Scout and Guide Hall in Pearsestown, and they were fantastic. And it just has snowballed from there to today. But on doing it, we would have started with no funding whatsoever, no money whatsoever. So I went in with no money in my pocket to start this project. So I had once I had the hall, which the lads were fantastic, and they said no problem. I said we'll give it 6 weeks, see will it work within the community. I went from there to our local shop and asked for free food for 6 weeks, which is a massive amount of money for a shop to give. So and naturally, you had to have a little bit of a think about it. But in the process, I went back to him, and he saw that I was very enthusiastic about setting up this project, and he felt that it would be worthwhile within the community of Pearsestown as well. So he got behind the concept.
So the Scout and Guide Hall gave you the use of their particular location out there. So you used that as a venue. You went to your local shop in Pearsestown, and they were very kind to support the food for a 6-week period. There were those two elements out of the way. How did you then promote it and get people to come along to the event?
Well, I went up to the local parish office. Sarah Ann, she works in the parish office. She was very, very good at putting it into the newsletter to promote it. We also put it into the local paper. So getting it out there, and we also got I also done up flyers to hand out to different people as well. And in the process, a fantastic man called John Cleary, he came in. He rang me actually from one of the newsletters, and we went up and we had a chat about my idea around what it was all about. And John came on board, and we went out with the flyers and knocked on the doors and went in and chatted with people, and then explained what we were about and what we wanted to do within the community of Piercestown. And I feel that the face-to-face contact is vital, because stepping into a door to the unknown is very awful for some people, not knowing who's in there, who's going to be there, all these kind of questions go through your head. So if you get over that barrier of that face-to-face, at least they have some contact. Oh, PJ was there, or John Cleary was there. So, they have somebody that they can come into straight away.
That's a very valid point, PJ. I can certainly see how people would suffer from the fear factor in relation to coming along to any type of an event, because I see it myself in the business environment all the time. But tell me, what's the objective behind these men's breakfast mornings?
Well, it is to combat rural and social isolation within the village of Piercestown and surrounding areas. We have a good catchment area as well. We have, we're taking in people from Clearystown right down to Sinnotstown Lane. We have the whole circle. So, and what happens in these breakfast mornings as well is that the lads that come in and it's a simple, relaxed, safe environment where lads can sit around and chat about anything from politics to anything, any issues that comes into the media, comes onto the radio, whatever's in their heads, they kind of trash it out.
Okay, and one of the consequences of that, of course, is mental health. How does this type of an initiative help people to overcome any issues or challenges in relation to mental health?
Well, it gets people out, it gets people chatting. If you're living alone, you might have a little dog, and you might go out and walk the dog and come home and have no social interaction with anybody from week to week. Some people might only go down to the local shop, and that would be their social interaction for the week. So this gives them a tool to come out and a place to go where they can chat, and also to know their community that they live in again. Because I think with the boom and the Celtic Tiger and everything like that, I think that we have forgot our neighbours, and we kind of have forgot where our community, so that whole community spirit needs to come back.
PJ, what's the average age profile of those that do attend these meetings?
Well, they average from anything from 35 up to 65, 70s. But one of the most important things and the hardest things so far in setting up the breakfast morning, it's very difficult to get the likes of 18 to 20 to 35 involved in the breakfast morning. So that's something that long term that we will be looking into and trying to engage more men within it. So within the Piercestown breakfast morning. So one of the things looking forward into the breakfast morning, one of the things that maybe we should delve into is the social media and the whole thing of Twitter and Facebook and all that kind of thing. And also to have the likes of interviews with people like yourself to actually get the message across that we are here and we're here every week.
PJ, I know you're also linked into a number of men's sheds groups. What's that initiative all about?
So, Karl, the Men's Sheds initiative is a fantastic concept. It started in 2009, and it has well over 100 sheds within the whole of Ireland. And I know within Wexford alone, there's 10 men's sheds which they're up and running successfully. And the difference between a men's breakfast morning and a men's shed is that the men in the men's men's shed can physically go in and do a bit of woodwork, do a bit of metal work, create stuff. And the breakfast morning is a place where the lads can sit down around the table and have a chat and trash out whatever is on their mind or whatever is within the social media or and also within the men's sheds you can be whatever age and you can still have the skills but also sit down and have the chat and tell somebody how to make something instead of getting up and physically doing it as well. So anybody that do have skills, that they can come into this shed and still feel part of it.
So it's an area where people can come and share skills and learn new skills.
Exactly.
And benefit from the social interaction at the same time.
The whole idea of the men's sheds is to combat social and rural isolation and for mental health. And I know this works because it has worked already within my time in community development. Within the community. Let me give you a quick example about this. We had one man come in very shy, very timid, head down, eat the breakfast, maybe stay for an hour, get up and go. And as the weeks progressed, I could see this man sitting up more, taking more notice about what's around him. And as the weeks went further on, he came in one morning and we have the breakfast in a fairly large room, and he opened the door and just walked across and saluted everybody and good morning everybody, how is things, so greeted everybody. And I thought that was a fantastic way. I knew from that moment that this breakfast morning is going to work in Pearsestown, because this, if we have done nothing else, we have already helped that individual come out of himself a little bit.
PJ, that's a great example of the human impact that an initiative like this can have. PJ, back to yourself for a second. You know, you spent over 10 years working in the construction sector as a labourer. This is a mammoth change for you to be working in community now. What have you learnt over the last couple of years in doing this type of work?
I've learned that the community is a fantastic place to work. I really enjoy what I do. I do it on a voluntary basis, so it's not about money. And I enjoy doing it week in, week out. I just love the community. I just love it, and hopefully long term, I'd love to be working within the community with all these different groups. One idea I have for the project is to link in with the 18 to 25-year-olds. I feel that there's a massive youth unemployment across the whole county of County Wexford, and if we can re-engage with these people and go out and meet them in their place of where they hang out and ask them what they want to do, rather than push these courses onto them and they don't want to do it. So if you have something that you like to do, then you'd be more interested in doing it. So that's one of my ambitions for the future.
You're listening to Southeast Radio's Business Matters with Karl Fitzpatrick in association with Wexford Insurances. Think Wexford Insurances for your business insurance.